So I had a couple of video ideas that had been floating around my head for pretty much the entire day. I think I want to talk about the issue with quite a few YouTubers and big named WoW players getting banned. Maybe talk about the Q&A session. There's a couple of things. I got a couple of emails that you guys have sent me. All really good stuff. All some cool stuff that I really want to talk about. However, tonight something happened, and because of it, because of what went on, I want to talk. I want to rant for a minute, mainly to give you guys some perspective. So just to set the scene here, and to be very transparent about things, I am, and if you guys have seen this content, thank you. I'm going to repeat myself. I'm a guild leader for a heroic mythic raiding guild, right? Now, what does that mean? That means that we clear heroic, we try to pug or recruit up to mythic. We've killed a handful of mythic bosses this difficulty. It's something that we would love to do more of, but recruitment, not the easiest thing here lately. It seems that, for every step forward that we take, sometimes we take 2 steps back. We gain a person, we lose 2 people, we gain 2 people, but then, one of our long-term raiders has school or job or family or life comes up, and we've struggled, right? But we are decently progressed. We are decent on our server. We are a fairly decent guild. Now, the reason why I tell you this is so that you, the viewer, you, the listener, can understand that we are essentially average. We are not a world first, guild that's clearing things. We're not that type of guild. However, we're not content with just doing the easy stuff. We're not content with just sitting by. We want to do more, better, etc. The reason why I tell you guys this, again, is for perspective, and I know already I can feel myself ranting here. So let's get into really the meat of what happened tonight. And to do that, I think let's step back probably about a week. About a week ago, one of my raiders came to me and they said, "Hey, I just recruited a new DPSer into the guild. Seems like a cool dude. He, for whatever reason, he left his old guild. Not sure the reason why. This is important. Not sure the reason why, but he is interested in raiding with us. Perfectly well geared, ready to roll. Great. Cool. Awesome. Bring him into the raid. We kill some mythic bosses. We kill some heroic bosses. And I talked to him after the raid. And this guy says, "Hey, I had a lot of fun with you guys. You guys are pretty cool. No real big problems." And I do this, and I want to say I've done a video for you guys about this. But generally, I try to talk to the new guys that first or second raid, generally that week, so that I can make them understand this is what to expect, or here's some outliers that we normally don't see. Any questions, comments, concerns? Is this right for you? Here is some feedback from us. So, talk to this guy on Discord via text, and he was very happy. I really enjoyed the raid night. You guys are pretty cool. Everybody seemed chill. I'm glad we killed some stuff. I'm okay, and this is kind of the first red flag that I didn't necessarily pick up on at first. I'm okay with taking a step back in progression and not killing, more mythic bosses if it means hanging out with you guys because you guys are pretty cool. This is a weird thing to say your first raid night. Looking at the parses going through Warcraft logs, he was mediocre at best. We have some really amazing players that, truth be told, and I've told them this, and if they don't know it, then I'll admit to them here, I don't know why some of these guys stick around, because they are far superior players to some of our other players in the guild. And that's just true. I'm not trying to be mean. I love everybody in the guild, but some of you guys are amazing players. This guy was not one of them. This guy was on the lower end of that spectrum. He stood in some crap that he probably shouldn't have stood in. His DPS wasn't amazing. He was subpar. He was subpar is the best way to put it. So, not a big deal. I talked to one of my officers. I have 2 officers, one of which is kind of been on a hiatus, right? So, me and this other guy leading the guild, and I talked to him. I say, "Hey, here's my concerns. He stood in some crap. DPS wasn't great. Let's work with him. Let's make sure that we're watching him, that we're helping to improve this guy." So this week, or last week rather, comes around, and we start killing more bosses. We get to Mechatork, heroic Mechatork, and this is on Thursday. And he gets hit by the sheep shrapnel, right? Stuff blows up in the raid. You gotta avoid the fire that shoots out. He gets hit by a couple of times, and during the raid, I call out. I'm like, "Hey, you, and you guys are getting hit by the sheep shrapnel. You gotta avoid that crap. Easy to dodge. It's unnecessary damage. No reason to be hit by it. You can do it." He says in raid chat, which he has a mic, I had to take it. And I was like, "No, you didn't have to take it." "Well, let me elaborate since you don't understand," was his response. That was red flag number 2 of, whoa, like, dude, if you join a guild that wants to kill things, regardless of whether you're on normal or heroic or mythic, if you want to kill things, then your raid leader should be calling you out and going, "Hey, you guys are standing in this. We need to improve on it because we need to kill the boss." That's the job of the raid leader, is to fix the issues that come up during the raid. And I called him out, and he threw up this attitude of, let me elaborate that I couldn't do it because I had the bomb and I was taking cover behind one of the piles of rubble on Mechatork and I had nowhere to run. "Well, you could have stood back," was my response. You could have stepped back. You still would have been out of line of sight for the entire rest of the raid. The whole point of standing behind the rubble. You wouldn't have gotten hit. Like, there were options. Also, just to be clear, if you get hit once or you get hit 100 times, I'm still going to call you out. I don't know every single circumstance. Like I've said when we've looked at the log videos, right, guys? That I don't know every single circumstance. I don't know every single story. I'm not interested in your 30-minute explanation of what happened to you and why your excuse or your reason is better than the dude that legit stood in fire, because to me, it's all the same. There's an issue. I called you out. Fix it. If you know in your heart of hearts that you did not fuck up and that that was the one outlier and it never happens again, cool, my bad. But you know what? I still have to call you out because, again, I don't know the whole story. So that was kind of a red flag, that he threw this attitude up saying, there's a reason why I did it. Let me explain it because clearly you don't understand. And it was not a good feeling, right? We trying to kill Mechatork. We have some new guys in the raid. We have some undergeared people in the raid that we're trying to gear up. Don't really need that. Plus, that's not the community that I'm trying to build. That's not what I want. I'm too old for this shit. I'm not interested in drama. I just want to kill things. So we kill Mechatork and we end the raid night. And one of the things that I do, and I would highly suggest if you are raid leader, guild leader, whatever the case might be, I would suggest doing this. But anytime there's an issue where it's going to be something that requires discussion, and I feel that this is I don't want to say safer, but a more laid back approach, is I create a private channel on Discord. I give my officers permission. If we're looking at logs to try to help a DPSer, I may grab some of the guys in the guild that are really good. I have a couple of guys that are great at going through logs, can find some crazy numbers, and really they've done a wonderful job of helping me. I'll grab people that are the same class as you that are performing better, and we just go through stuff, right? So today, I wanted to do it over the weekend, but today I created this channel in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning, created this channel, added my officers, added this one guy. And I said, hey, here's the deal. It felt that there was some attitude, that there was some contention between us when you were called out for raid stuff. And I don't want there to be contention. If there's an issue with being called out, that's part of raiding. That's part of the raid that I run. It's not to be mean or an asshole or rude or a jerk. It's simply to fix issues. He came back and said something to the effect of, and again, I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head because it's been, but he came back and he said, look, I may have come across as pissed off or angry or had an attitude, not the way that I meant it, which was a great response. If I'm a hindrance to the raid, let me know and I'll move on elsewhere. So I responded. I was like, look, you're not a hindrance. If you are a hindrance, though, I'm not in the, I don't want to say position, but my goal is not to get rid of you if you are a hindrance. My goal is to work with you to fix the discrepancies and those items that are hindering you from becoming a great raider. And if we're not able to fix those issues, if those issues continue, if you're not willing to fix, to work on that, then then we'll get rid of you. But we're in the business here, me and my guild leadership, my other officer, we're in the business of building a community of people that we want to play with so that we can kill bosses together as a family. If I didn't want you in my guild, I wouldn't keep you in my guild. I want you in my guild. That's why you're there. And he responded back, all right, thanks, bye. And he presumably went up, did whatever he did for the day. Now, so far, a couple of red flags here. Nothing too dramatic, nothing too crazy. A little uneasy about it. Okay, here's a guy who maybe have taken it the wrong way. Maybe he thinks I'm an asshole. Maybe he doesn't like me. Okay, fine. We already know that he has an attitude. Maybe I took it the wrong way, but not good. We already know that he is a hindrance to the raid and will need to have these issues fixed. Not good. Now, we get into the fun part. And when I say fun part, I mean probably the part that makes my blood boil and I don't want to say catalyst, but really that straw that broke the camel's back in me finding out two things from one of my raiders. First and foremost, and probably the worst offense, and one of the things that probably should have immediately gotten him the fastest, most swift guilt kick seen in the world, he was harassing one of my players. He was harassing one of my guild members who he was attempting to form a relationship with them that they were not interested in forming. They were very clear about it. Continued. And again, that is not the community. That is not the family. That is not the group that I run. I don't put up with that bullshit. I'm not going to put up with people bullying each other. I'm not going to put up with harassment. If there was a situation and it was resolved amicably, reasonably, cool, not a big deal. But it wasn't. And the harassment continued even after this gentleman was told, give it up, stop. No thanks, not interested. The second issue was that after our discussion between me, my one officer, this gentleman, that conversation was then sent via screenshot to another guild member, complaining that we, the guild leadership, are trying to bully him, that we're trying to, that we're cocky, that we're assholes, etc., that he doesn't like us, that, that we're jerks, that we're the crap, etc. I don't care if you don't like me. I want you to like me. As one of my guild members, I want you to like me. But if you don't like me and you show up to the raid and you perform your best and you have no other issues, so be it. We're both missing out, but you know what? So be it. And with that being said, what I can't put up with is to top it off after all of this, the harassment and the poor performance in the raid and the attitude and the unwillingness to listen and learn and take constructive and very simple and honest feedback, is taking a conversation between the guild leadership and yourself and then taking it to individual raiders and guild members in order for them to, feel sorry or pity or, to grant you whatever attention-seeking behavior that you're trying to get. It's not how things need to be done. So after all that, I got rid of the guy. Dropped him from Discord, dropped him from the guild. The reason why I want to talk about this is because I've made mention many times on this channel that recruitment in this game is hard for a lot of reasons. There are a lot of guilds out there. You're able to pug things. There's communities. There's guilds that are far better than we are, that are more appealing and appetizing to a young person that wants to raid and kill things and do great things. It's very easy for a person to find a group to kill Jaina. It might take a few minutes. It might take, an extra hour to kill her. She's puggable. You can pug this shit. You can pug the first few bosses in Mythic. So it's a big deal to take someone that was willing to show up 2 nights a week, 6 hours a week, and get rid of them. But with that being said, that's not the community, that's not the family that I run, that I'm the head of, that I'm in charge of, that I've grown and fostered over these years. And it sucks because there was a discussion within our Discord, our raid channel, last week. How many people did you get rid of in Legion that you kicked out of the guild? And the answer to that question was 3 people. 2 of which I've made 2 videos on the channel about, that were drama llamas that started shit, that that pitted each one person against the other, that told lies, that really just wanted to see what puppet strings they could pull and who they could manipulate. And a 3rd person that, in a very angry tone during the middle of a raid, called another raid member a racial slur. And that's unacceptable. All 3 of those people did unacceptable things. And now I have a 4th one for BFA that I legit have kicked out of the guild, even though I need bodies, even though I need people, because he was harassing other guild members, because he had poor performance, because he had an attitude, and he didn't have the right mindset when it comes to raiding. And it sucks. And that just means we need to continue recruiting, but in the end, it's worth it. So if that is a lesson that I could share with you guys after ranting for 20 minutes now, then please take that from me, because it's better to get rid of that cancer from your body by cutting it out than letting it spread as that person continued to do whatever to any other person in the guild, harass them or mess with them or show any disobedience or disorder to me and the raid group. Not worth it. So like I said, guys, it's a rant. I knew it was going to be a rant. I really appreciate you guys. If you stuck it through this far, thank you. With that being said, if you like it, you guys know what to do. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comment section down below. Till next time, guys. I'll see you.